Hello everyone, it's Mafalda and today I am sitting on the floor because I'm going to be showing you my whole physical TBR. I haven't done this since I basically got this TBR card. I actually made a video about it and yeah, that was I think 2 years ago, if not more. And since then I haven't really done a physical TBR kind of update. And I also for the past year haven't been doing book hauls, so no other person other than me, myself and I knows what I have currently on my physical TBR. So I just decided to do this video and show you all of the books that I have on my TBR card right now. I think I have about 40 books, and that way you can tell me in the comments what books maybe I should prioritize and read first. Before we get into the books, I just want to talk about my TBR card because last time you saw it, it was completely empty of stickers, and for the past like 2.5 years since I had it, I've just been having fun covering it with stickers all over. It actually is just on this half. The back half doesn't have any stickers because I just feel like, what if I regret all of these stickers one day? I'll just like turn it around and pretend it never happened. So yeah, just putting stickers on this side. This is not the one from IKEA, but it's pretty much the same thing. I feel like it's completely the same. It's black and yeah, it has three shelving spaces, like levels, to the TBR cart, and I have been kind of organizing it by genre, and I feel like I'm going to reorganize it as well with you guys now that I think about it, because I have it kind of by genre but also a little bit by height, because some books really don't fit in the bottom two shelves, I guess. And so maybe I'll reorganize it as well. And another thing that I thought of doing was to organize the books by how long they've been on my TBR. I think the oldest book that I have here on my TBR is probably one that I got in like 2019 or late 2020, which I feel like is not really that bad. It's only a couple years that it's been on my TBR. But honestly, I do gotta say that I'm really proud of myself because I feel like there was a point, I can actually pinpoint the year. 2021 was just the year that I over consumed books, not in the best way. I was just buying and buying and buying. And obviously I was reading also a lot more than I've been reading the past couple of years. But also I was just like buying books like crazy. And I feel like I am doing a lot better at that in the last 2 years. 2022, I bought probably less than half of the books that I got in 2021. And I also feel like 2023, I'm just like intentionally buying books. I'm not buying just because books are on sale. I'm not buying just because I see someone talk about it and I got like a sudden interest in the book and I immediately buy it. I'm just really thinking about the books that I'm buying, physically especially, and it's just, it feels great to be honest, because not only does my physical TBR get a lot more manageable, but also I'm not spending crazy amounts of money. Like if I told you the amount of money that I spent on books in 2021, I think half of you would pass out because it's not sustainable. And at that point, I wasn't even working a full-time job like I am now. So like every single penny that I made from my part-time job was going straight to books, which was just not good. And now that I have to pay bills, I just, not only do I not have the opportunity to do that, but also I just don't want to. That was just too much. But basically all of this to say, I have just created a lot of a healthier mindset when it comes to buying books. I'm just buying books a lot more intentionally and not spending so much money, which is great. And that clearly translates into my physical TBR. I just don't have that many books. I still have around 40 books, I think it's 43 or 44 books, which is a lot, but it's a lot better than it was a few years ago, so I'm just glad to say that I'm doing a lot better. I have space on my TBR card, like this is full of space, and also in the bottom half is also full of space. So yeah, that's great. And another thing that has also helped me a lot manage my physical TBR is looking at all the books on my physical TBR, and if I've had a book for more than 2-3 years on my physical TBR, and if I don't want to read it anymore, I just get rid of it. I've gotten rid of so many books in the past year that I've had for so long on my physical TBR. I had no intention of reading those books anymore, and I was just like, yeah, it's gotta go. If my interest in reading has faded, why do I keep hoarding? So I just sold books, donated books. I just got rid of books that I don't care for anymore. It just doesn't make sense to keep them and be like, oh, one day I will get an interest to read that book again. I'll just get the audiobook, I'll get an ebook, I'll get it secondhand, whatever. It just doesn't need to be sitting here and waiting for me to pick it up. Sorry about this little ramble about buying books and physical TBRs and stuff. I just wanted to share all of this with you guys. And now, moving on to the start of the show. Like I said, I'm going to reorganize the books after I show you all of them. So let's just get started, because this is probably going to be a long video. So the first few books that I have on my physical TBR are actually all by Portuguese-speaking authors. And the first one is A Mulher que Correu Atrás do Vento by João Tordo. I think this is signed. Is it signed? Is it this the one? Yeah, it's signed by the author. I met him 2 years ago, I want to say, at the book fair. 2 years ago or last year? Like, time is all scrambled in my head. But I met the author. He was really nice. I still have yet to read this one. But yeah. Then I have Os Medos da Cidade by a bunch of authors. This is a fantasy anthology. And I'm not gonna go into every single book, otherwise I'll be here all day. Os da Minha Rua by Onjaki. This is short stories. Then I have a bunch of Saramago books, José Saramago. And this is Ensaios sobre a Lucidez, O Evangelho segundo Jesus Cristo, A Jangada de Pedra, and O Homem Duplicado. I have been kind of saving all of my Saramago books for some time where I feel inspired to pick up one. I still don't want to get rid of them, even though I've had them on my TBR for a few years. I just feel like Saramago is something that every Portuguese household has to have, you know? Honestly, I'm in no rush to read Saramago's work, but I still want to own them all, and I eventually want to read them. Then I have my non-fiction books. First one is Not That I'd Kiss a Girl by Lil O'Brien, by The Hidden Culture, History and Science of Bisexuality by Julia Shaw, Teoria Feminista by Bell Hooks, or Feminist Theory by Bell Hooks, I guess. Stamped Racism, Anti-Racism, and You by Jason Reynolds and Abraham X. Kendi. Then I have actually two historical fiction books. The first one is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, and also Infamous by Lex Croucher. Then I actually have a borrowed book. This book is not mine, but I want to read it, so I keep it here so I can remember it. But this one is actually from Pedro's collection, and it is Lost Connections, Why You're Depressed and How to Find Hope by Johan Hari. He's read this one and he really liked it, so I'm really interested. Now moving on to the second tier of the TBR card, which has classics and also YA books, any type of YA book, honestly. First one is Let Me Hear a Rhyme by Tiffany D. Jackson, Honey and Ishi's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jargadar, Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. I'm actually not sure if this book is YA. I don't know why it's here. Maybe it's not YA at all, but I put it here for some reason, and it's The Beauty of Your Face by Sahar Mustafa. Finley Donovan is Killing It by El Cosimano. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. And then moving on to my classics. First one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Then I have Persuasion by Jane Austen. And I also have another Jane Austen, Northanger Abbey. And then an intimidating one, but one that I'm really excited to read, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. And then I have a Portuguese classic, which is A Cidade e as Serras by S. Queiroz. And then I have this collection. I guess these are 4 books in one. It's 4 short stories by Danish authors, 4 classic Danish authors. One story by Hans Christian Andersen, one by Karen Blixen, one by Henrik Pontoppidan, and one by Herman Bang. I'm really excited to get to these. These are like 30-page stories that I can just read whenever. And I also actually got this in Denmark, which is really nice. And now you can't really see, but I'm going to the bottom shelf, which is basically general fiction, just like adult general fiction, which is probably my favorite part of the TBR right now. First one is All My Rage by Saba Tahir. Then I have Love in Color by Bolo Babalola, which is, I think, short stories. And I think this book is kind of a mix of general fiction, but also kind of mythical tales, so it has a little bit of fantasy. Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. The Transition Baby by Tori Peters, Mr. Loverman by Bernadine Evaristo, Swimming in the Dark by Thomas Jadrowski, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, Transcendent Kingdom by Yagyasi, Sex and Rage by Eve Babbitt, Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, Outline by Rachel Cusk, Milk Blood Heath by Dantiel W. Moniz. My Pen is the Wing of a Bird, new fiction by Afghan women. So this is a collection of, I think, short stories. Dominicana by Angie Cruz. And Heaven by Mieko Kawakami. And that concludes my entire physical TBR and also my general fiction books, which I'm really excited to read more of. And now, like I was telling you at the beginning, I think I'm going to take all of these books out of here and I'm going to organize them by the oldest book on my TBR to the newest book on my TBR. Kind of. I actually have a spreadsheet with all the books that I've bought in the last couple of years, but I just don't want to keep referring back to that spreadsheet. That would take a long time. So I'm just gonna do it from the top of my head of when I think I bought these books to get an impression of the books that have been here for many years and that I definitely need to get to soon. So yeah, I'm just gonna take them out. I feel like I need a new organization for these books because they have been kind of like this ever since I got the TBR card. So it just needs a fresh start, you know? I actually ended up reorganizing the books off camera, which I know isn't as satisfying to watch, but it was just becoming a really big mess around me, so I just decided to not film it. But basically this is what I've come to, and on this top shelf I have my oldest books on my TBR, at least I feel like they are. And actually something that I'm realizing is that I'm leaving a lot of classic books behind, but also Portuguese written books. So maybe it's something that I should work on and read some of these books on this top shelf. But basically all of these books are from either 2020 or early 2021. So I think I have maybe this book, which is from 2019. I think I got it. And also I kept the borrowed book here because this is not part of my collection and I'm gonna return to Pedro. So yeah, I think this one is not 2019 and then the rest are either 2020 or 2021. So yeah, not bad. Now moving on to the second shelving space. Basically these are all books from 2022, or some like these are from 2021, and then the rest is 2022 books that I got last year. So not bad at all. And actually all of these are actually in order of when I got them because I actually remember when I got each of these books. And now moving on to the last shelf of my TBR cart, and I think these are all of the physical books that I've gotten in 2023 that I still haven't read. I also have the short stories here that I got in Denmark, so yeah, I don't know if that counts as 4 books, but yeah, and these are also in order. I'm really happy with what I have here. A lot of these books, like all of these, are books that I got in my trip to Denmark, if you've seen my Copenhagen vlog. The rest are just books that I've occasionally bought, but overall I'm really happy with this idea of putting the books in order of oldest to newest. I think it just puts everything into perspective and is just gonna make me look at the books on the top shelf a lot more and think of reading them because they have been here for way too long. And yeah, I guess that concludes my video. Thank you guys so much for watching my little TBR carts tour and impromptu reorganization. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And also, let me know down below, what books should I read first? I definitely should read the ones on top first because they have been on my TBR the longest. So out of all of the books that you saw today, which one should I prioritize for the summer? Because honestly, I have no plans for my summer TBR whatsoever, so it could really help me out if you could tell me your opinions. And I guess I will see you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!